Good morning. Today is November 2nd, 2020. And my name is Brandon Lee Brackens, a Pro Se Litigant whose civil rights has been violated by the justice system. And today here I will bring to you everything that has happened to me, how I have been shunned, my case has been closed out, and the problem still continues. So here I will read to you both my cases in one and how I feel towards the outcome of this case. Civil rights violation cases number 19-13454 and 20-30286. I, Brandon Lee Brackens, come before the public and the wicked, bearing proof of the numerous violations against my constitutional and civil rights in a world of corruption, all of the hindrance and interference by the government, in which were used with delay tactics, which shows ignorance by the officers of the United States courts. I have tried reasoning to get the issues rectified for playing mind games pertaining to these cases. So be prepared for what impacts are bound to take place. The 1776 Virginia Declaration of Rights stated, "The freedom of the press is one of the greatest bulwarks of liberty and can never be restrained but by despotic governments." As the contents of these cases rise into criminal proceedings pursuant by 18 U.S.C. Chapter 19, the right of due process offers an individual a right to a fair process known as procedural due process, and a right to enjoy certain fundamental liberties without governmental interference, known as substantive due process. I have brought forth enough evidence to have this case overturned, and counsels had assistance of aiding and abetting from the courts to sabotaging a federal case. If any harm or bodily injury, including murder, should happen to my well-being or family, may my blood and words be upon your hands for the suppression of Fifth Circuit of Appeals case number 20-30286. Let these words today be my weapon to withstand the wiles of the wicked without any fear of the outcome. Since evidence has been presented, those of incompetence became a part of the case, which has caused interference between the parties from the latter. I am exercising my rights as a U.S. citizen, but I am also retaliated against for exposing things to the light. For the gang stalkers, near and far, as stated in my complaint, who continue to monitor my moves will soon be consumed by your own demise. The sadistic one here is Stericycle Incorporated that has caused major impacts against someone's life and rights. I have continued to look for answers with no separation letter, and my right to know the valid reason for my termination from Stericycle Incorporated. In this case, any persons named throughout with aiding the defendants in court proceedings will be held liable as well. In the Eastern District of Louisiana, my case number 19-13454 has been terminated with 2 pending motions that are currently still pending. Defendants and their counsels have used delay tactics to avoid a meet and confer, suppress discovery, tamper with evidence through the aiding of the courts. This raises doubt and is questionable as to how two motions have not been tended to in the Eastern District Court. A protective order was ignored by the magistrate judge, and the defendant's motion to dismiss was granted without any discovery or meet and confer, pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 26. The civil case went to a higher degree of criminal charges as the malicious acts continued into the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, Clerk's Office, and the three-panel judges. Here, the case is public record, but my rights are violated and suppressed from the public eye. As a pro se litigant and a law-abiding citizen, there is no doubt these counsels are affecting many individuals that are involved now as the case unfolds more and more. There lies a conflict of interest between the counsels and the officers of the courts that will lead into grounds for disqualifications and sanctions. During a COVID-19 pandemic with over 20 million cases in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, my case became top priority and dismissed without any fairness involved. It has been since 2018 when the initial incident with Stericycle's Human Resources Department happened, and not rectifying the problem caused a lawsuit to be filed in November 2019 against the former employer and its individual agents. The importance of this case opens up many avenues by exposing a system of corruption, and justice will be served. Under Federal Rules of Civil Procedures 11, I have stated in the complaint to the best of my ability and knowledge that every detail is true and authentic. The charges will bring great, devastating impacts that can cause damage to each named defendant and any third-party involvement, with the possibility of jail sentencing. By the case being raised into higher punishment and penalizations, criminal intent plays another role in this civil case. Criminal intent is the conscious decision someone makes to deliberately engage in an unlawful or negligent act or to harm someone else. There are 4 specific examples of criminal intent. 1, purposeful. 2, recklessness or reckless. 3, knowing or knowledge. And 4, negligent. An act becomes criminal when taking into account the intent of the person who carries it out. Intent. With intent, there is no denying that someone deliberately set out to harm someone or engage in some kind of illegal activity. Knowledge. Knowledge is that the criminal is aware of the consequences that can result from his or her actions, but simply does not care. Recklessness. Someone's decision to do something dangerous despite knowing the risks involved. Negligence applies when someone failed to live up to his or her responsibilities and someone else was injured as a result. For each named defendant in the lawsuit, may you be held liable upon your counsel's unlawful acts that have escalated the contents to criminal charges with assistance. My life is being lynched by the state of Louisiana's justice system for exercising my civil rights. I am not afraid nor fear any man or woman, for my voice will not be oppressed or suppressed by what I feel is unjust in the court of law. Action have no color. If one wants to implement race or the color of someone's skin, the justice system is also retaliating against my rights, suppressing the case from the public with ongoing judicial proceedings. On the World Wide Web, Brackens versus Stericycle can be found, and displayed is the court's decision in both cases, showing an error in judgment in which created an even greater conflict of corruption towards the defendants and any third-party involvement. My case has been shunned by criminals in suits and robes by not performing their duties within the justice system as an officer of the United States government. The defendants stated there is no claim of defamation, discrimination, and emotional distress, although there is an EEOC charge of discrimination, case number 461-2019-01526. I have submitted evidence to support my case. If there was no claim, then this case should never have seen the light of day in court. It clearly shows that this case has various discrepancies within the closing of it, one being without oral argument. Please read my civil brief as it explains everything that has transpired throughout both courthouses, with evidence presented to support my case. The record excerpts that were submitted to be filed on July 10th, but was not filed until July 29th by the clerk's office only after being questioned for not performing their duties on a 19-day filing delay. If anyone needs clarity, there are audio recordings and also emails of my case being handled by the incompetence and mental illness of the Fifth Circuit Clerk's Office. My complaint and civil brief tells the full details of dealing with numerous issues that has led to retaliation by higher authorities. Those involved in this case has an interest in the outcome. 1. Stericycle Incorporated, including its entirety and the other named defendants. 2. Law Office of Natalie Blackman. 3. The EEOC, including assigned investigators. 4. Louisiana Workforce Commission, including appeals law judge and the Board of Review. 5. Defendants Counsel, including the law firm. 6. Eastern District of Louisiana, including the magistrate judge, Pro Se unit, and the judges' chambers. 7. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, including clerk's office and 3 panel judges. These named individuals or entities in which have signed or had any affiliation with this case all play a major role in the case at hand with having an interest of the outcome. No one is to recuse themselves. No one is to recuse themselves. Again, no one is to recuse themselves for the actions of the misconduct taken against a pro se litigant who have not yet received a day in court. There is no doubt that foul play shows its head for the manipulating of the court proceedings to benefit the named defendants. We can play all day with the childish games as stated, but the case is far from seeking justice as more exposure continues to unfold. Those who have caused more damage and harm against someone will be sanctioned. It is written that no man or woman is above the law, which is known as principles. And principles never change, but the law does, for those who have altered it from its original state. Again, have altered it from its original state. This system is Goliath in a business suit, yet starting a war with the little man. I will stand for my family with knowledge, because all of the money in the world can't buy you an escape from wrongdoing. The pen is stronger than the knife. I am neither an animal nor a convicted felon, but these powerless entities of wicked people fear their own evil deeds when it all points back to them. The system is mad because I speak truth and will not be struck down. Before the system silence me in life, I will kill your hate with kindness and present myself approval with words to explain my fight with the devil and his minions. The world is so unjust, and when there is no one to trust self. I will continue to fight and stand for equal justice that protects me under the constitutional law. And here is a statement by Justice Joseph P. Bradley. And there's more to this if you was to look him up and read his quotes. When a man has emerged from slavery and by the aid of beneficent legislation has shaken off the inseparable concomitants of that state, there must be some stage in the progress of his elevation when he takes the rank of a mere citizen and ceases to be the special favorite of the laws, and when his rights as a citizen or a man are to be protected in the ordinary modes by which other men's rights are protected. And again, that is Justice Joseph P. Bradley. So, in the end, the guilty will be at war with self because you just can't argue against the truth that is brought forth in good faith. There are audio recordings, videos, emails throughout the case, and additional information that supports the case. A flash drive, certified mail, that was submitted into the Fifth Circuit as part of the motion to supplement the record. I was told by the clerk's office there is no item in their possession. The flash drive entails fully detailed documentation of Stericycle in bad faith. The public, which are the people, have a right to know. But if those and all who follow want to aid a wrongdoer, then continue in your own ignorance. Any form of taunting, intimidating, or threatening my livelihood will cause more damage to my adversary. For the concealment of avoiding discovery, may my name go in the history book on this day, that I will speak my mind and let my voice be heard. An evil person can only punish and kill my flesh, but my spirit can never be broken. There will be nowhere to neither hide nor run from the hell you put me and my family through. You can't take back the damage you have done. Either you a man or a monster. So, in closing, as stated beforehand, I have tried to reasoning to get the issues rectified for playing mind games pertaining to these cases. So again, be prepared for what the impacts are bound to take place. The 1776 Virginia Declaration of Rights stated, "The freedom of the press is one of the greatest bulwarks of liberty and can never be restrained but by despotic governments. Hell has come at your doorstep, so you burn in all your wicked ways, that it may curse you. The scales of justice is not blind to all those who claim to be above the law." Respectfully submitted, Brandon Lee Brackens, Pro Se Litigant, Appellant Plaintiff. This is my case, and I am sending to you live and well on this day, in perfect health, that if anything should happen to me, it will be on these named individuals or entities in this case, pertaining to my civil rights being violated, suppressed, and silenced. in a court of law under the justice system in the state of Louisiana as I am being lynched for doing no wrong. But in the end, hell is a place waiting for those who continue to do wrong, those who just only see one way, their way. And since you want to bring things to light, here it is.